Need to talk about what is genuinely one of the most insane testimonies I've ever witnessed in South African politics. Vusimuzi Ket Matlala, alleged crime kingpin, entrepreneur, extraordinary millionaire, who showed up to parliament in a full Burberry white shackled outfit, just gave testimony that is so absolutely wild, so catastrophically damaging to multiple senior politicians you and I know, that I genuinely don't even know where to start. But let's try. I don't even know what the thumbnail of this video is going to be. My mind is blown. Because this story involves cash bribes in Woolworths bags, hot chicks dating football players, police ministers demanding money, and a crime boss knowing literally everyone and throwing each and every one of them under the bus while claiming he's the victim. This is peak South Africa. And somehow, because we're in South Africa, it's all real. Let's start with the absolute highlight of this testimony, the detail that will live rent-free in my head forever. Ket Matlala claims he paid former police minister Bheki Cele 500,000 rand in cash. Not unusual for South African corruption, unfortunately, but here's the kicker. The money was delivered in Woolworths shopping bags. Not even generic plastic bags, not briefcases like a normal corrupt transaction you'd see in a movie or a cheesy show. Woolworths bags. The irony of using South Africa's most bougie grocery store bags to transport bribe money to a government minister is just GTA 6 perfect. I cannot make this up. Nobody could make this up. Reality is genuinely stranger than any corruption fiction even the best book authors in history could write. Matlala says Cele initially wanted 1 million rand as a facilitation fee, and then he paid the first payment of 300,000 in cash at Cele's Menlyn apartment in January. Then he just handed it over when Cele was inside. And then a second payment of 200,000 was made when he was at the Beverly Hills Hotel in KZN. But then it gets better. Cele complained to the late Bongani Mpungose that Matlala wasn't showing enough gratitude despite Cele helping him. When Matlala reminded Cele that he was letting him stay in his apartment rent-free, Cele allegedly said, well, let me tell you, that won't pay my bills. Imagine being so brazenly corrupt that you complain about not getting enough bribe money. That is next level entitlement. That is toddler entitlement. Matlala directly accused Cele of lying to the committee. Cele previously testified that he didn't even know who Matlala was. And Matlala's response is basically, okay, sir, well, if you don't know me, why did I give you 500,000 rand? Which is a pretty solid point, honestly. I don't remember giving 500,000 rand to a stranger. You wouldn't give that to someone you know, let alone a stranger. So either Cele has the worst memory in human history and just randomly accepts hundreds of thousands of rands from complete strangers, or he is a liar. I'll let you guess which one is more likely. And by the way, we're not done. You thought I was done. Matlala also said current suspended police minister Senzo Mchunu had some stuff to do. In the 2024 raid, Matlala called Brown Mokhotsi, the alleged middleman between the criminals and politicians, for help. And Mokhotsi asked for 200,000 rand to book accommodation for Senzo Mchunu's 10 associates. Mokhotsi also requested funding for the January 8 ANC celebration on behalf of Minister Senzo Mchunu. And guess what? Matlala paid for it. So we've got two police ministers allegedly connected to an accused crime boss through cash payments. The people in charge of fighting crime are allegedly on the payroll of criminals, basically. That is not a justice system. That is nothing but a downright protection racket. When asked about the 360 million rand SAPS Health Services tender that went to his company Medicare 24, Matlala initially refused to answer. When he was pressed, he said, no, I can't be held responsible for the SAPS's failure to exercise due diligence. That's like robbing a bank and then saying, I can't be held responsible for the bank's failure to catch me and have better security. Technically true, but it's also completely missing the point. You're missing the point of why everyone's asking those questions. Why did you steal? He claims he provided all the necessary documents and didn't mislead the South African Police Service. But here's where it gets suspicious. The man resigned from Medicare 24 in December 2024, shortly after the South African Police Service agreement was finalized, and made his sister the director while remaining 100% shareholder. He admitted she was just a frontman for while she was gone. This side plot is genuinely insane. Matlala confirmed his sister Claudette was romantically linked to Mamelodi Sundowns defender Grant Kekana, who is the son of Deputy Minister Pinky Kekana. Can you see how this is all connecting? And since they broke up, the connections just kept getting weirder. Oh, And Matlala admitted he instructed his sister to withdraw 300,000 rand in cash from Medicare 24's FNP account in Menlyn. The same 300,000 rand in cash he allegedly handled to Kele as a bribe. He warned he just implicated his sister in money laundering. He doesn't realize he did that. That's family bonding through crime. Beautiful. Bro doesn't realize he just sold his sister out. You know, and he tried, and he tried to lie, but then in the process, you tell a bigger truth than the one you were supposed to tell. Then everyone's like, whoa, what? Then the police come in his house around 5, 6 p.m. His kids are screaming. Wife and children are forced to face the floor with hands behind their heads. If that happened the way he describes, that is genuinely very traumatizing for those kids who had absolutely nothing to do with this, regardless of what their father is accused of. Police took his cell phones, his firearms, his guards' weapons, his watch. They interrogated him about other people's whereabouts, including Jerry Boshocha and his relationships with senior police figures. And here's the thing. Matlala is an accused criminal facing multiple attempted murder charges. He has every reason to lie, every reason to deflect, and throw others under the bus to save himself. So we should take his testimony with appropriate skepticism. But, and this is important now, he's making very specific allegations about cash payments, locations, amounts, and interactions. These are claims that can be investigated. Bank records exist, CCTV footage exists, phone records exists, other records exist, other witnesses exist. So if what he's saying is true, then we're looking at systematic corruption at the highest levels of law enforcement. Police ministers are taking bribes from the very criminals they're supposed to be investigating. That is awesome. Task forces are being disabled to protect organized crime figures like Matlala. Cash changing hands in Woolworths bags like this is a badly written crime drama. And the fact that all of this was happening in a public testimony under oath in front of a parliamentary committee and Pekikele lied like that makes this even more insane. Because this isn't rumors or speculation. This is an accused crime boss sitting in the shackles and full Burberry directly accusing former and current government ministers of corruption. That is the most expensive Woolworths shopping bag in South African history. And we're all watching it unfold in real time. But anyway, it's what I wanted to talk to you about because I felt you really needed to know about this because a lot of you are not following the Matlanga Commission. You want to, but it's too long, so I'm here to shorten it all for you. That's about it. See ya.